let's move on. Mr. Murphy, I'd like to talk about property taxes. You know, this is a big issue.
It'll be the first time anyone's raised it.
New Jerseyans pay by far the highest property taxes in America, the average of almost $9,100 per household. This issue was clearly a popular topic on social media when we asked voters for questions for tonight's debate. Just the Fun One on Twitter asks, "It seems everyone forgot all about our taxes. What are either of you going to do about it? My property taxes go up every year." So you have said you will lower property taxes by changing the school funding formula, but you haven't yet explained how. So how would you do that?
I think that's my opponent who actually said that, but here's the
yeah, please don't give him credit for that one.
By the way, if you're in a black or brown community, by the way, I hope you heard what he just said, because you're going to be crushed, and your kids will be crushed by his plan. It is unfortunately the truth.
That's a lie.
We inherited an affordability crisis. He was in the State House long before I got there. He rubber-stamped Chris Christie's agenda at every step of the way, and we inherited an overwhelming affordability crisis. We have made progress on property taxes, but we have a long way still to go. But I'll tell you, if you're a working class family today, you're paying lower income taxes, you're paying less for health care, you're paying less for child care, you're paying less for college, you're not paying 1 cent more to ride on NJ Transit, and that's a fact. These guys, folks, come on. This is a classic. These guys created a mess, and they left it for guys like me to clean up, and we will do just that.
Okay. Mr. Ciattarelli, would you like to respond?
I've been going up and down this state for 21 months as a gubernatorial candidate, and all the things that he says that are benefiting people, I don't know where those people are because I don't hear from them. I'm in black communities, brown communities, and white communities. I want to thank you for forcing him to talk about an issue you never hear him talk about. You never hear him talk about property taxes. Under Governor Ciattarelli, we'll have a new school funding formula that provides a flatter, more equitable distribution of state aids. I will not leave any student behind. I will not leave any community behind. I will not adversely affect the quality of education. But let me tell you something else we're not going to do. We're not going to send aid to people that own million-dollar homes in places like Hoboken and Jersey City and have them pay less in property taxes than a $400,000 homeowner in Toms River, Hillsborough, Parsippany. That's what's going on. That's what's going on, and he knows it.
Boy, I'll tell you something. This election is the difference between continuing to move forward or going backward, and you just heard what would happen here. If you're in a, the tragedy is the progress that we've made in black and brown communities, especially, Sheila, am I right, especially urban communities, with the school funding that we have put to work has been overwhelmingly, but it's a job that is not yet complete. There are huge inequities that this pandemic, among other things, exposed. That flat funding formula, we already work with Toms River and Hillsborough, but you'd crush black and brown communities, those kids who were already behind the 8 ball, you'd put them further back. And again, this is a difference between continuing to move forward or slipping back to the bad old days.
It is a lie to suggest that my formula is a flat funding formula. I didn't support it last time. It'll never pass muster with the state Supreme Court.
Okay. But really quick before we move on, Mr. Murphy, I have a follow-up question for you. You've raised taxes in the past, including the millionaire's tax. Will you pledge right now not to raise any taxes at any time in the next 4 years?
Yeah, I already have, and the answer is yes. We're done.
Yes, you
100%
will raise taxes?
We will not.
You will not.
I pledge to not raise taxes.
You pledge not to raise taxes at any time in the next 4 years.
At any time in the next 4 years, but I'm not making news tonight. I've been saying this for the past year. The answer is I pledge to not raise taxes.
And Mr. Ciattarelli, if you are elected governor?
There will be no new taxes. His budget is up $11 billion in less than 4 years. That's more than 30%. Chris Christie's last budget was $35 billion. His last budget, because I plan on winning in November, his last budget's $46 billion, $11 billion more. He's raised every single tax and tolls. He has an insatiable appetite for taxes. And the reason is because he believes if taxes are your issue, we're probably not your state. He said that.
Okay. Yeah?
Please.
I hate to let pesky facts get in the way, but do you know why the budget is up, Assemblyman? Because of the mess you left. We haven't had a full pension payment in We haven't had a full pension payment in 25 years. We put $6.9 billion into the pension system on one day. Okay. You and Chris Christie underfunded public education by $9.2 billion. Okay. Somebody's got to clean up your mess.
Okay. Mr. Murphy, thank you. I think
Sade, real quick, let me say this.
Somebody's got to clean up your mess.
It's real easy to make a full pension payment when you borrow $4.5 billion. You didn't need to.
Okay. Thank you, gentlemen. Let's move on.